What's going on? It's Trending Story. If it's your first time here and you want to find out new facts that will definitely make you smarter and more well informed, make sure to subscribe and active the notifications bell so you don't miss anything.
It's the nature of the wolf to travel. By age 2, wolves of both sexes usually leave their birth packs and strike out on their own, sometimes covering hundreds of miles as they search for mates and new territory. Whatever the reason, when wolves move, they do it with intent and quickly. Humans don't know how they decide which way to go, but the choice is as important as any they'll ever make. Making any actions, no one fully knows what exactly will happen next. Although evil deeds are likely to lead to bad consequences, good deeds will certainly leave a noticeable mark on the world. In this life, all the actions that you take will have consequences later, whether positive or negative. For most of the time, evil actions lead to serious consequences and make their owner an outcast for everyone, while good deeds leave a positive impression on the general public and makes them respect the person and they appreciate it. The hero of this story did good at the behest of his heart, and not because someone forced him to. Thanks to this, he was able to change the lives of all the people around him. He did not know that he had saved the wolf, and fate rewarded him for this. The events of this story took place in a small town located in the forests of the Urals. 5 years ago, there was a cunning wolf who managed to spread terror among the residents of the village because of its speed and coercion. No one was able to arrest it, despite the fact that the majority of the villagers refrained from sleeping at night in order to catch it. The big beast used to attack the livestock every day and kill a cow that it would eat, and it also attacked people who were trying to stand in its way and caused them serious wounds, which made it a nightmare that followed everyone. Legend says in this small village that there were two evil hunters in the village known for their violence and cruel treatment of animals of all kinds. At one time, they went to the forest while they were drunk, and they found a wolf in its den with its young, and immediately they killed the mother and the children. They consumed their corpses, and when the wolf returned, he noticed that moving scene and attacked the fishermen, killing one of them and causing the other serious wounds that made him disabled later as he walked in a wheelchair. The wolf could not forget that painful scene, in which he lost his entire family in such a brutal way, and that is why he decided not to let the villagers enjoy calm and peace, and to take revenge on them, as he hated them all and always worked to annoy them. The wolf used to choose a house every night and attack it at midnight, then kidnap a sheep or goat and run away. It also attacked cows and killed them, eating their flesh, then leaving them. This animal caused heavy losses to farmers, which caused some of them to leave the village. At that time, a small family came to live in that village. The family consists of an old man who was a brilliant fisherman, accompanied by his adult daughter and his granddaughter, where the old man bought a small wooden house outside the village. From the houses that the owners left the village, settled in with his daughter and granddaughter. One day, the old man who knew the story of the fierce wolf went out into the woods to hunt, and there he found a wolf lying on the ground and suffering from wounds to his feet. The animal was ferocious whenever the man approached him. He tried to bite him, but he managed to surprise him and approach him, then tied his mouth, and then carried it in his hands and took with him to his home. The hunter found that the animal had fractures in its foot and that it was a female, in addition to some serious wounds, which made him put it in a small hut in a yard, and he continued to treat and take care of her. It took a full 5 months for the wolf to get back on its feet. During the 5 months that the wolf spent in the old man's house, she loved family members very much and loved them dearly. They were able to change her view of the human being and showed her that human beings include the good and the bad. The wolf's relationship was distinctive, especially with the little girl. The man's granddaughter, as she spent most of her time with her and she loved her very much, approached her and hugged her and even slept with her in her hut. The wolf used to get very nervous when you saw the girl crying and rushed to her grandfather or mother to get their attention and ask them to help her. The grandfather noticed that the lupus was very strong and courageous, which made him try to take it to the forest to help him in hunting, but she refused that completely and prefers to stay at home because it was afraid. After 5 years, while the old man and his daughter were sipping tea in a kitchen and getting ready to go to sleep, they noticed that the little girl was not at home, as she completely disappeared from sight, which made them go out to search for her and sought help from some neighbors. The search continued for a few hours in the vicinity of the house and inside the woods, but they did not find her, which shocked everyone. Everyone returned to their homes, while the grandfather and his daughter decided to search in the forest for the granddaughter, and the wolf followed them. And there they found her near a large lake, but she was not alone. There was a huge wolf with her. It was the same wolf that was attacking the inhabitants of the village, but for some reason he did not attack it. Meanwhile, the female wolf approached that wolf and began to touch it and smell it, and in turn the fierce wolf was licking her. The grandfather immediately remembered the myth that the villagers circulated about the fierce wolf that was attacking the livestock in the village, and he remembered that his children and his wife were shot by drunk hunters. During that brief instant in time, this injured animal and I had somehow penetrated each other's worlds, bridging barriers that were never meant to be bridged. There was no explaining experiences like this. We can only accept them and, because they're tinged with an air of mystery and strangeness, perhaps treasure them all the more. Meanwhile, as Fee ran toward the tent, carrying only the lantern his wife gave him, he devised a hasty plan. I just kind of kept running at it and I just kicked it. In the back hip area, like I was kicking in a door, he said on the radio show. I booted it as hard as I could. The kick may not have done much physical damage, but Fee said it was enough to startle the wolf into letting her go. Then the animal emerged from the tent and Fee said he immediately regretted kicking it. And here he realized that the hunters did not kill the wolf or the pups and left her wounded, and then he found it dumped in the woods on the day he went out hunting 5 years ago. Thanks to the man's kindness, the wolf managed to survive. Fola intervened on that day and saved the life of the female wolf because the animal continued to attack the villagers' livestock and inflicted more losses on them, in addition to the previous damage. With a simple act, the man was able to help his neighbors return to a peaceful, normal life, while the wolf and the female wolf found each other again and left for the forest to live together. The old man managed to change the lives of the villagers who had suffered greatly from the attacks of the wolf, who was avenging the loss of his family. After he managed to save the life of the female wolf, he was able to remove that hatred from the heart of the wolf, who stopped what he was doing and left the company of his wife, who he thought had passed away, in order to continue their lives far from humans. Wolves almost never bark unless they're part dog. If your wolf barks or yips playfully, you have a Malamute, or maybe a Malamute wolf cross, and not a pure wolf. Malamutes can get caught in traps too. Just because they love people doesn't mean they don't share the same voracious, eat first, then think about it after appetites as timber wolves have.
Thanks for watching. Please like and share the video in social networks. We'll be right back to you as fast as we can.